So I wanted to do a video about Zolic. A few people have been asking me like my thoughts on this. Obviously, if you watch my Let's Play, you probably know them, but some of you don't. So let's kind of talk about it. So Zolic is an inheritable skill you can learn from Iarumas.
How may I help?
Like it's also a skill obviously Iarumas knows, but if you have like Iarumas, like that, you can actually use him to inherit Zolic here, and what this does is does major untyped damage to one enemy, greatly bypasses magic defense with a chance to inflict paralysis on target. Damage paralysis rate are reduced if learned by someone other than Iarumas. So this costs 20 MP, which is a lot. It's almost as much as a level 5 spell. It is single target. The main benefits of this is that it has magic penetration, greatly bypasses magic defense, and has a chance to paralyze. Only a couple of abilities in the game have paralysis chance, so that can be relevant sometimes. Yeah, and someone asked me I've seen a couple of people ask me this, who asked if it was worth inheriting Zolic on your mages, and the short answer is yes. The longer answer is it depends. Like obviously if you're using Iarumas, it's pretty good because he gets a bit more damage with it. One of the things that is not mentioned here is that this skill has a higher chance of surety. It actually has normal rate of surety. Most mage spells have like a huge penalty to surety, something like a minus 100 modifier to surety, which means effectively most mage spells do not sure hit. Zolic is an exception, though it's kind of a trap. Like you shouldn't go out of your way to build a bunch of surety on a mage because only one spell could benefit. Like only Zolic would benefit, and your law spells would not benefit. Your your line spells, anything else, nothing else would benefit from that. So you wouldn't want to dump your magic power or your speed for it. You wouldn't want to trade more important stats for it. So there's not a lot of place where you can actually build surety without it being kind of a net negative. On, like I said, trying to for one spell, and again, a lot of bosses in this game have sure evasion too. So it wouldn't even be that useful in the bosses against bosses, since a lot of them have sure evasion. Most mages at level 70 will have around 13 surety from dexterity. You can't Kathrine, you get surety from dexterity. It's something like 1 point for every 5 dexterity or something like that. So it's 62 dexterity. We have 13, so it's not too much. Like Milana being a thief, she has a bit more because she has a passive surety up, and that's probably up here. Like I said, I leveled it up to level 2 on her, so she has it's 2 per rank, but a passive surety up, so it's level 2 on her. So level 1 it's 2, okay, took her to 15, level 2 takes her to 17. Again, not a lot. I wouldn't go your way, but one thing that thief mages like Milana do have is skills like Way of the Thief and Cunning Pursuit. Cunning Pursuit you can teach via Rare Phillips. Way of the Thief is unique to Thief exclusives. So if you did want to benefit from the surety, thief mages like Milana and Dino are going to be the best to try to pursue that with. But again, I really wouldn't recommend going out of your way for it. Like I said, level up your passes or whatever, but main thing you would probably do will be to level up Macaldia as much as you can, and then cast that for the fights where it could be relevant, certain fights like the dragon in the Swagin's Cave, those ones, as far as I know, can be hit with sure hits. And the paralysis can land on them. I'm not sure about the Rift Dragon, but I know the story ones, those work pretty well. When I was doing the Monster Bird the other day for the first time, obviously I was able to get a sure hit with Milana there, and yeah, that could be pretty impressive. But again, it's kind of a trap. I wouldn't really go out of your way for it. And the only ones that ever matters on outside of Iarumas would be, again, thief mages, would someone like Milana or Dino. Generally, when you're doing equipment though, you wouldn't go try to build surety. You try to do magic like a staff. It's usually 2 magic and a divine, because most mages are also priests. But for maybe if you on somebody like Milana or Dino specifically, maybe you try to find a surety blessing instead of a divine blessing for that last spot. But again, that's pretty much one of the few places. Gloves would be the other place where you could try to find a surety one. Like I said, I have 3 magic and magic defense. Typically, you'd want magic like, and divine power would be like their last one. But again, on a thief mage, it might not matter as much. You could maybe try for surety there, but that'd pretty much be your only 2 surety blessings before you start going into other issue, before you start dumping like more important stats like magic power. Like, you would not want to dump magic power for surety, since magic power will help all your law spells, all your AE spells, everything else. It will also help Zolic damage itself for like the times when it doesn't sure hit. So, and Zolic does scale better with magic power than a lot of the elemental spells. Like, typically when you're casting spells with mages, you want to level up your single target spells like to level 4. It's like the sweet spot. Level 3 is pretty easy to reach for most mages. Level 3 is not too bad. Level 4 is kind of the sweet spots, because the way the mage rank 2, it only costs 2 more mana than level 3, and this is pretty good, reasonable damage. Going higher than that is, there's a big jump in the cost from between 4 and 5. So if we went to in training room, we went to inherits here, you go to skill enhancer, we can actually show you what a level 5 spell costs here. So if we look at like Faru here, right, level 4 is 12 MP, but level 5 jumps all the way to 18, 50% more at way of the mage level 2 versus level 4. So this is kind of where you'd be casting a lot of times. It's kind of like the peak, generally what we call the best like optimal like damage to mana cost is kind of where it peaks here for mages. Technically 3 can be a slightly bit higher, but again, the difference in mana cost isn't too much. A lot of times you'll just sit at level 4 if you have them, and that's kind of where you go. And the thing about Zolic is that it's actually 1 mana cheaper than a level 5 spell, and it does damage kind of comparable to a level 5 spell. Kind of like the one benefit though, again, it has that magic penetration, which can matter for fights to have like fairly high magic defense, like the Spirit Realm Automaton. I was getting pretty good efficiency, so like it was like a level, so 17 MP versus 12 for level 4, and like on Milana, who has really high magic power, she was doing almost 50% more damage with Zolic compared to the level 4 spells. So mana cost like ends up being pretty much about the same, but ends up now it's getting better turn economy for that, so it ended up being really good in that case, especially with the high magic power. But if you don't have like a lot of magic power, like it does feel kind of meh, like if you're like kind of lowish, in that it does that the Zolic scales a bit better than the elemental spells. The elemental spells, like again, like scale spells like Faru Migal, it's something like 80 damage for every 100 magic power, or 8 damage for every 10 magic power. Zolic is higher than that. It's something, I think it's at least 100. It's like it seems to be even better. It might be like 110 for every 100 magic power. 100, 110, or maybe like I said 10 or 11 for like every 10 magic power. So it scales a bit better. So as you get to really high, like get to higher magic powers, the value of Zolic starts to look better and better. Like on Milana, I have over 700 magic power. Zolic ends up being pretty decent on her just because she has that magic power. But on someone like Kathrine, who I only have like 549 on, it's okay sometimes if you need. It's good when you need that magic penetration. But most of the time, I just wouldn't really cast it over a level 4 spell. Like in Kathrine, like I have Way of the Mage level 5 on her, so it's actually just 14 for Zolic, which is actually not too bad. It's a bit, starts to look a bit better cost-wise, but again, she doesn't have the magic power to really make it worth it. So if she had 600 magic power or 700 like Milana, like Zolic could probably be my go-to on her. But it does, like I said, because of bypass and magic defense, it's fine. Like I said, I think it's a fine spell. I think it's worth having if you have a couple copies of Iarumas, you don't plan on developing Iarumas, definitely consider teach that to your mages. You still, like I said, it's not a replacement for Faru Migal because of that. They have different uses, and again, elemental damage matters. Some enemies are weak to water or fire or wind or whatever, and especially like the Act 4 where you have the freezing mechanic. Don't neglect Migal just because you can teach him Zolic, but it is good to have both. And if you have multiple mages, try to teach Zolic to any mages you're currently using or plan to use. Like if you can, like I said, Iarumas is here for like another week, so definitely try to get that if you haven't yet. And not too much more to say on this one. If you want to know more about like the like Iarumas and the other like Otherworld adventures. I did a video about them when the event opened up, and you can find it down below. As always, thank you for watching.